Hi lovely people, in today's video I am sharing morning rituals, morning habits with you for a beautiful day. These are all things that I do basically every day and that I have noticed a real difference in my day depending on whether I do or do not do them, which means I usually do them. It is a rare day when I don't do all of these, but without further ado, let's get into this. One of the first things that I do every morning is drink some warm water. This is an Ayurvedic habit that I implemented into my day and that has made such a difference for me. So sometimes it will be just warm water, which I definitely needed to get used to in the beginning. I also don't know how this is going to be in summer. However, I've always been drinking lots of tea, so I guess it will be fine. But drinking some warm water, sometimes with something in it, sometimes just the water itself. And like I said, this is one of the first things that I do every single morning. And it's great. I mean, you've been asleep all night, you are slightly hydrated, so just rehydrating your system is a really good practice. Making it warm water is better for your digestion, also helps to get your digestion started, and apparently it's also easier for your body to actually take in the moisture, the water, when it's warm rather than cold. So a couple of reasons that that's a good idea. If I want something in the water for a bit of a taste, I usually do one of three things. I'll either put in rose, just a little dried rosebud, which is so nice. And this is something that I usually do if either I am feeling a little bit hot and bothered, when I am irritated, but also when there's irritation, for example, in my skin. Drinking basically a rose tea is such a nice thing to do. It helps to calm down pitta in the body. Tastes so gorgeous. Something else I might choose is lime. Great to help your digestion get started. And it's just more of a fresh taste, which I tend to really enjoy. And then the third thing that I might choose is ginger, which is a bit more warming. Also really good for your digestion. Also, if you're feeling kind of heavy, ginger is really nice. And if you have a bit of a cold or a bit stuffy in the nose, like ginger is such a nice tea to drink. Or honestly, I might do a combination of them if I feel like that as well. Right now, I actually have ginger and rose. Honestly, I feel like all three of these combine very well, so feel free to play around with it. I mostly choose depending on how I feel that morning and kind of like what I feel like I need and what would serve me best. Sometimes it's just plain hot water, warm plain hot water. Sometimes I add something in. Then the second little ritual or habit is getting some morning sun. Now, it's winter right now. It's a little bit harder, even though the days are slowly getting longer again. When I get up in the morning, there's no sun yet. So basically, as soon as the sun does come out and I'm able to, I try to get in a little bit of morning sun. It's a great way to get your circadian rhythm moving in like the right direction, to give you a boost of energy for the day, and just honestly, it makes you feel good. Especially if the sun is actually there and it's not just rainy or cloudy. Have you noticed that difference? I definitely noticed a difference in my overall mood and energy levels when it's sunny compared to when it's very cloudy or rainy. Let me know if you've experienced the same. I've heard from a lot of people that they do experience that as well, which is another really good reason to get some daylight on your skin as soon as you're able to. Like I said, some days that is earlier than others. That's okay. Just as soon as I'm able to, get some light on my face, get some light on my skin. The third gentle ritual or habit is gentle morning movements. Now, I'm someone who has always preferred movement in the morning over later in the day. Honestly, if I leave it for later in the day, it also just doesn't happen. Let me know if you're the same. But I also find that it's just such a nice way to wake up and just to get my body started, to get the blood flowing, to get my muscles a little bit warm. So a little bit of gentle movement every morning is definitely a little habit, ritual that brings me so much. And this can be super easy. I always get this in by walking June, our dog. She needs to go out in the morning, so there I have my little walking morning movement already. And then I will often also do either yoga or bowspring. Sometimes that is because I'm teaching yoga. Actually, about 5 times a week. That is because I'm teaching yoga. And sometimes it's just my own personal practice that I get in that way. But I do always try to get some movement in. Like I said, I have a dog, June, who needs to go out, so that forces me to get some movement in. But if you don't have that, try to bring some movement into your morning in some way or another, whether that's a gentle walk or some other intentional movement like yoga, like bowspring, like any movement you enjoy actually. And then it's time for more spiritual care, I guess you could say. So we've taken care of my body, of my system that way. And I also like to take some time to take care of my mind, my spirit, however you would like to call this. So every single morning I will meditate. And often that's just 5 to 10 minutes. That's fine. So it doesn't have to be very long, but I will sit down every single morning and meditate. On days that for whatever reason I forget, I will notice it so much like during the rest of the day until I actually take the time, sit down with myself and take a little bit of time to meditate. This is not something that I often forget. Like it's a rare occasion where I do forget it. And if that does happen, I will come back to it later in the day because I just need that little bit of time for myself. Often before I sit down to meditate, I will take a look at my vision board, which is just something I really enjoy doing. It puts my mind in like a good space, a good headspace, I guess, for both the meditation, but also for the rest of my day. On my vision board, I tend to collect things, if you will, that help me focus me on what I want to bring into my life, but also on my values. So by taking a look at that before I meditate, I'm just able to kind of put myself in the right place for the meditation and also for the day. So I found that is a very valuable little ritual. And then I will also always journal a little bit. I have a 5-year journal, which is what I use for the most part. Sometimes it's just a line a day. That's enough, that's okay. But just putting pen to paper, just that whole act already feels so good for me. And just kind of emptying out my mind of maybe the previous day, of anything that's going on, just feels so good. And it truly sets me up for like a right day, as if I'm starting off the day with like a clean slate because of that. So I highly recommend that as well. Feels so good. I need something to drink. And then it's time to get ready. And again, this is something I do every day because I notice a difference. Not just because I have to get out of the door, which obviously some days is the case, but also just for me on a day that I don't have anything going on, I will get myself ready. So I'll take a little bit of time for my skincare, which is something I genuinely enjoy. Doing my skincare is just a nice little self-care moment that I get a lot of value from. Makes me feel good about myself. Sometimes I will put on a little bit of makeup, but that's not a must at all. And then after that, getting dressed. Or sometimes I get dressed first. You get the idea. Again, this is something that I do every single day because it makes me feel better. I know there is like a lot of people who like to spend their day in like leggings or in their sleepwear, activewear, whatever. I am not one of those people. I don't feel comfortable wearing those things. Maybe it's like physically comfortable, but not mentally, which makes me not feel comfortable in them. So I will get dressed. And it doesn't have to be anything special, anything specific. Just the act of getting dressed, getting myself ready for the day brings me in such a different state than not doing that. I am so much more productive when I do this. I feel so much better. My mood is so much better when I do this. And overall, it sets me up for a beautiful day. So these are all very small rituals, habits that don't have to take a lot of time or effort at all. I do all of this every single day. I mean, if you go out for a morning walk, you are getting that morning sun in already, if the sun is up as you go out, obviously. So you can combine things here. It's not difficult. You most likely will already drink something in the morning, so just make that something a drink of like hot water or hot water with something in it, like rose, lime, ginger, lemon is also a good one. Already like gets you up for a better start. So in about half an hour, I have all of these things done. I can do all of these things in about half an hour and my day will be so much better, so much more beautiful for it. My mood will be so much better. Physically, I feel so much better. So it just sets me up for a good day. Now, this is not my entire morning routine, not at all. These are just some very specific little rituals, habits, rhythms, however you'd like to call them, that do really influence how I'm starting my day and how the rest of my day will progress. Let me know if you are already doing any of these things? I would love to hear from you in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more intentional living related videos. With that, I wish you a lovely rest of your day and I hope to see you soon. Bye!